Good morning, I'm Maureen and I blog at redcottagechronicles.com. Today I'm just going to show you an easy tutorial to show you how to take just market flowers and make them into a nice arrangement for your home. I by no means am an expert floral designer. I just like to pick up inexpensive flowers at the market or the grocery store and change them, just take them out of the cellophane that they come in and shape them into something that fits me in my home. So today I'm designing something small. It's going to go into this tray that I keep on my coffee table, and I just have a book in there and a candle on top. So this is the tray that I'm styling it for. So I will show you the container. It's just a small container I'm using today. Just a plain container that I got. I think I got it at IKEA actually. And you'll notice that I'm using a netting, if you can see that, to put the flowers in. You can use chicken wire, you can use a frog if you have one, you can use floral foam, but this is just a leftover onion bag actually that I've stretched over top of the vase, and I've held it in place with an elastic, and that will help me kind of keep my flowers together. So let's get started. So as I expected this week, when I went to the farmer's market, the flowers were not that abundant. There wasn't much to choose from. So I didn't need much anyway since I'm making a small arrangement, but I did find an arrangement of spray roses in orange and like a creamy white. It came with some leather fern, not my favorite green, but that's what it came with, and they had absolutely no other greens to choose from. This bunch was $10. And then they had these pretty little green ones on clearance for $2. So I like the texture of them and the fact that there wasn't too much other greenery. I may use them in this arrangement, we'll see if they fit, but I thought they were pretty. For $2, you couldn't go wrong. So I knew I was going to have to supplement with things from the yard. So I headed out to the backyard and I got some of the dried hydrangeas off my hydrangea bush. Just some twigs. Twigs are nice for adding height, shape, and again texture. And there was some dried purple coneflower pods that also add some nice interest, especially in the winter. I like to keep the winter arrangements warm and cozy, because I like it warm and cozy in the house during the cold winter months, and we're heading into a cold snap here in Ontario where I live. So keeping everything nice and cozy and warm is nice. I did clip some greenery off some of the shrubs in the backyard and a little bit of cedar. So with what I bought at the market, I paid $12, and what I have here from the yard, I think it's a good price. So as I mentioned again, I'm just somebody who loves to buy flowers at the market and make them my own, and I just want to be able to show you how easy it is. You may or may not know, I'm not sure if I mentioned it on the vlog before, the first job out of high school was at a floral shop, and I loved it. I thought maybe one day I might open my own floral shop. Love the way flowers are today. When I worked at the flower shop way back in the early 80s, everything was very symmetrical. It had to be the exact same on the left side as the right side, perfect triangular shapes. Everything was so symmetrical. And if you went out of the symmetry, you were frowned upon. I absolutely love the direction the floral design has taken, in that it is just go as you please. The principles to follow when you're designing flowers, and some things that they are there to make it easier for you, but it's really whatever you love. It's just wild and free flowing, and I just love that about flower arranging these days. So I am going to get started. So what you're going to do, I always start with my greenery, setting the base and filling in the bottom. It helps to kind of set the shape that you're going to go with your arrangement. Again, my arrangement's going to be small because I'm putting on a small coffee table. So I'm just going to start by adding some green. And you'll see the way that I design, like I say, is for what I love. But I just want to be able to show you how easy it is and not to be afraid. Like just a few dollars every week out of your budget to add some design and some texture into your home. It's well worth it, I think. it gives me the base. It kind of gives me some structure is the way that I want to go with the design. Filling in the base with some of the dried hydrangeas just kind of gives it a bit of a base down deep, and it gives you something to build on. And I like the very neutral shade of the hydrangeas. And it's just, you know, it's just playing with it for feel. Just once you get a feel for what you think you like. If you like it, then you take it out. If it's too tall, take it out and trim it. If you love it just the way it is, then leave it just the way it is. Now I'm going to start adding in the spray roses. I love spray roses because they're one stem with lots of little buds. And when you tuck them down in, they really fill out the space and provide a nice show. See how it's starting to take shape. Ready to do so. These days is that everything, like I mentioned, doesn't have to be symmetrical. You can, if you see on this side, I've got some that are pushed way down in deep, and that's okay. It's everything doesn't have to be right as a round symmetrical shape. It can be vary in heights. And it's also okay, what I love too is what I'm seeing now is that it's okay to keep color. You don't have to spread it all out. If you want to group all one color here, and then on this side I've got grouped more of the orange here. It doesn't have to be all spread out through. You can group the colors together and still have a cohesive and attractive arrangement. So I've got all the roses in. And you can see, I don't know if it's kind of hard to see, I'll kind of tip it up a bit. You can see that there are lots of open areas in below, and so that's where I go and do my infilling in with the greens and maybe some of these other dried things that I got from the garden, and that will fill in some of those spaces as well. When you're cutting the blooms to put them in, always cut a little bit longer than you think you're going to need at the beginning, and then you can always go in and trim them, because you can't add the length back on, but you can trim it off as need be. And then once you're happy with the overall shape and the way it looks, then you can start just making sure everything is exactly the way you want it without changing the shape. Some of these things have come a little bit loose when I've pulled other branches, so I'm just going through and tucking them back in where I want them to be. And there you have it. A nice bouquet. $12 from the market. And it's just a matter of using your eye, feeling what you like, and going with it. There's no need to fear it and take them out if you don't like them. Add things back in. As you can see, I'm still adding a few things in as I go around. I think I'm gonna So very few flowers I had to work with, but I think that it turned out really nice. I'm happy with it. It gives you certainly more bang for your buck. So I hope you enjoyed our first edition of Market Flower Monday. I will be back in 2 weeks with another market flower arrangement. I'm hoping they're going to have ranunculus in next time I go. It was usually, I think last year around the end of January they had them come in, and they had them for quite a long time, right through the end of the spring, which was nice. So I'm hoping to have a wider variety of flowers, and I might just hit up the grocery store if the market is not giving me what I need. I'll see you next time.